Another day, another smartphone showdown. This time is the iQOO Neo 10 versus the Realme GT 7, both claiming flagship level performance and not so flagship price. I've been daily driving these for the past week and it's way closer than I expected, especially when it came to performance. The GT7 is powered by the Dimensity 9400E with 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and up to 512 GB of UFS 4.0 storage. On the other hand, the Neo 10 comes in with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4, up to 16 gigs of LPDDR5X Ultra RAM and slightly faster 512 GB of UFS 4.1 storage. One thing to note, only the 512 GB and 256 GB variants of the Neo 10 get the faster UFS 4.1 storage. If you're picking up the 128 GB model, you're stuck with UFS 3.1. On paper, the Neo 10 looks like the winner, but benchmarks tell a different story. Both phones crossed 2 million on AnTuTu, but the GT7 pulled ahead by a solid 4%. And in 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme GPU test, the GT7 absolutely smoked the Neo 10 by nearly 60%. Even in storage speeds, the GT7 clocked in 13% faster despite offering slower UFS storage speeds. But in day-to-day usage, you wouldn't know. App launches are instant, scrolling smooth, and multitasking super fluid on both. Gaming is also just as close. During our tests, both the Neo 10 and GT7 averaged 118.5 FPS in a quick BGMI match. Even the minimum frame rates are pretty respectable at 93 and 96 FPS. By the way, we weren't able to hit the promised 144 FPS on the iQOO Neo 10 no matter which settings we tweaked. We've reached out to iQOO for clarity. We'll keep you posted if they respond. Realme has also added a graphene layer under the back panel to help manage heat. But in a 30-minute Call of Duty mobile session, both leveled off at around 38 degrees. So graphene or not, thermal performance is solid on both. Now let's move on to design. Both phones have plastic backs, but they don't feel cheap. The GT7 feels a bit more refined to hold, but the Neo 10 feels clunkier, like it's built to take a hit. The GT7 I'm using is the iSense Blue version. It's a nice color and that bold red power button with matching accents around the camera really makes it pop. However, I like the Neo 10's titanium chrome more. Clean designs like these are criminally underrated. When it comes to durability though, the GT7 easily wins with IP69 protection and Gorilla Glass 7i on the front. The Neo 10 settles for a lower IP65 rating and shot sensation up class. This brings us to the displays, and yeah, they're really good. Both phones come with 6.78-inch 1.5K AMOLED panels with slim bezels, and yes, both come with in-display fingerprint scanners that are quick and work without a hitch. The GT7 runs at a smooth 120Hz across everything. The Neo 10 can do a 144Hz, but only in some apps and games. On paper though, the GT7 has a better display. You get Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and a 6000 nit peak brightness. The Neo 10 peaks at 5500 nits. But I found that the Neo 10's panel just looks better. When we fired up a 4K 60fps HDR video on YouTube, the Neo 10 just had more pop. That's because its HPM hits 2000 nits versus the 1600 on the GT7. Now let's get to the cameras. The Neo 10 has a 50MP Sony main sensor with OIS and an 8MP ultrawide. The GT7 also has a 50MP Sony sensor for the main camera along with a 50MP 2x telephoto and an 8MP ultrawide, so it's more versatile. In daylight, both phones deliver crisp, vibrant photos. I felt the Neo 10's images had a little more punch though. But low light is where the Neo 10 surprised me. The colors looked more natural and balanced, while the GT7's shots felt slightly muted in comparison. Ultra-wide shots on both phones are decent, not amazing, but definitely usable. The GT7 does have the edge on paper with that extra 2x telephoto, but in practice, I actually like the portraits from the Neo 10 more. But videos are where things really diverge. The Neo 10 tops out at 4K at 60fps, plenty for most people. But the GT7 flexes harder with 8K at 30fps and even 4K at 120fps. Great for slow-mo action, sure, but 8K ends up eating more storage and stabilization takes a hit. For regular 4K 60fps, the GT7 holds up well, though I did notice fewer jitters on the Neo 10. With the front cameras, GT7 once again takes the lead. It handles skin tones way better, while the Neo 10 gave this reddish tint that just didn't look right even in good lighting. Overall, it's pretty balanced. The GT7 is better for selfies and videos, but I'd go with the Neo 10 for more natural photos and better low-light results. As for software, both phones ship with Android 15. The Neo 10 runs on FunTouch OS 15, while the GT7 runs on Realme UI 6, which felt a bit snappier, but yeah, there's more bloatware. Both devices have all the basic AI tools, but Realme throws in some fun AI stuff like an AI planner and a gaming coach. In terms of updates, we get 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security patches on the Neo 10. But with the GT7, Realme is offering 4 years of OS and 6 years of security updates, which is fantastic. Battery life is also solid across the board. Both phones come with a massive 7000 mAh battery and 120-watt fast charging. I consistently got a full day of use and sometimes 2 from both phones. Charging speeds are also identical. The GT7 hits 50% in about 15 minutes, the Neo 10 in about 20. A full charge takes about 35 minutes for the Neo 10 and about 40 for the GT7. So the final verdict. Well, both the Realme GT7 and the iQOO Neo 10 are solid options. The GT7 definitely feels more premium, offers a better UI experience and a stronger build with IP69. But I still pick the Neo 10. It may lose in benchmarks, but the gaming experience is the same as the GT7. They also perform same in day-to-day stuff. Plus, I kept going back to the Neo 10's display. The photos from the main camera are also more vibrant, and with a lower price tag, it just offers better value overall. Anyway, that's my take. But what would you go for? Let me know in the comments and I'll catch you in the next one.